To begin my upcycled project, I headed to my local thrift store and found this beautiful silver platter for $3.99. I started prepping the platter by removing the price stickers, then I used a paper plate to cover the center. Next, I sprayed the outer rim of the platter with 2 coats of a metallic gold spray paint and allowed it to fully dry. Once the gold paint was dry, I taped the outer edge with painter's tape, then painted the inner circle a dark matte red and allowed it to fully dry, then removed the tape before moving on to the next step. Next, I laid some pieces of faux evergreen on the top of the platter, then glued them down with hot glue. Using wire cutters, I continued cutting pieces of the pick and gluing them onto the platter to fill in the gaps around the top. Then I moved on to creating a bow. I found 2 different ribbons, one wired ribbon from the thrift store and one velvet ribbon that I got from the plus section at the Dollar Tree. I started first with the red and white wired ribbon and measured from the end of the ribbon that was on my left side to the right 10 inches and gave it a pinch. After the 4th loop was made, I twisted the ribbon one last time, then measured the ribbon to 10 inches and cut it. I secured the center of the bow with a clear zip tie, then manipulated the bow to make it look fluffy and nice. I then made 2 more bows using the same method. Next, I trimmed the zip ties, then placed the largest bow down, followed by the medium velvet bow, then the last bow, and zip tied all of them together and trimmed the tail of the zip tie. I cut a 6-inch strip of velvet ribbon, folded down each long side and applied a bead of hot glue, then folded the ribbon in half and secured it with glue once again. I wrapped the ribbon around the middle of all 3 bows and glued it to the back, then trimmed the excess. I attached the bow to the center of the top of the wreath using a generous amount of hot glue, fluffed the loops, then trimmed the tails of the bows, then folding the tail in half, cutting off a small triangle shape of the ribbon to create a dovetail edge. Then I added a few more sprigs of faux evergreens to fill in the gaps, as well as a few berries that I found at the Dollar Tree last year. I hot glued the ends of the ribbon to the back of the platter, making sure the right side of the ribbon was facing out. Then I hung the wreath on the door hanger and now it's ready for Christmas. I hope this inspired you to upcycle a thrifted platter into a beautiful Christmas wreath this year.
Grab a box of vintage Christmas ornaments for a fun and unique holiday decoration. Lay out your design off the board before beginning, so you'll know just how to arrange the ornaments when you begin. Be sure to select ornaments that will serve as the tree trunk and topper, and put those aside as you create your tree. Start by placing the trunk at the bottom of the board in the center. Pin or glue the ornament in place. Now begin creating your tree shape. Lay out a straight line of ornaments, leaving some room on either side. Pin or glue these ornaments in place. Next, build up your tree. Each row should be a little narrower than the last to create a tree shape. As you near the top, place and pin or glue your topper to help visualize the placement of the ornaments. Now hang your beautiful ornament tree and enjoy.
Grab these 2 things from a thrift store to make the most beautiful Christmas decor. Grab some glass light shades and scrub them clean. Once clean, I pulled cotton rope through the shade and tied it in a double knot. I did this for the other side, leaving enough between the 2 shades to tie it together. Then I separated the strands underneath the knot and used a macrame brush to smooth it out. A dog brush works great too. I trimmed with scissors and used hot glue to attach some faux greenery and pine cones, tied the top and hung it on my front door for beautiful holiday bells. For the second project, I grabbed 3 plastic pudding containers and used a hacksaw to cut the stem off. I scuff sanded them with medium grit sandpaper and spray painted the inside and out white. Once dried, I spray painted metallic gold and let it dry. Then I scrunched up brown paper. Plastic bags also work great for this, and I dabbed it in black spray paint and then onto the pudding cups. While that was drying, I stained a junior tongue depressor and wooden curtain rod dark brown and wiped the extra off with a paper towel. When everything was dry, I drilled a hole through the top of the tongue depressor and put the jute through and then connected it with the wood ring by wrapping the jute around it. I hot glued the ring to the pudding cup, strung them through a driftwood stick, and now I have vintage-inspired bells for a fraction of the cost. I hope this inspired you to create DIY thrifted bells.
Head over to Goodwill, head for the glassware section, and grab a variety of dishes to make these fun DIYs. Add some dish soap to your sink and add some water to make some soapy water. Carefully place all of your dishes inside the sink. Start by removing the labels and all of the dirt, debris, and anything else that is on the dishes. Start by covering your work surface to protect it. Place the taper candle onto the protected surface and add some glue to the top. Place a candy dish on the top. Start by placing a vase upside down and add a bowl to the top of the vase and place a votive holder on the top. Let that dry for 24 hours. With one of the socks from Dollar Tree, cut off one end. Add a rubber band to one side of it. For the other piece of sock, cut alongside so that it opens up into one long strip. Then cut one long strip from that sock. Place the hat on top of the votive holder and then add the scarf to the neck. Your snowman is complete. Embellish the front if you'd like with some ribbon and some pine. Add a tea light into the candle holder and put the lid on. This glass dish is complete. And I hope this inspires you to create a snowman and a glass candle holder of your own.
Before all the summer stock is put away, make sure you scoop up a pool noodle. So to begin my project, I had these 4 brass candlesticks that I picked up at a thrift store a long time ago, and I'm going to take my pool noodle and I'm just going to lay it across and eyeball it up and then cut my pool noodle where I want it. I want about 2 to 3 inches hanging off each end of the sides of the candlesticks. And then I'm going to take some zip ties and I'm going to put 2 together just so they're a little bit longer, and I'm going to zip tie the 2 pieces of the pool noodle around the candlesticks. So you want to go in between each candlestick to make sure that the pool noodles are secure and wrapped around them nice and tight. Then I'm going to come in with some Christmas tree branches that I just peeled off an old Christmas tree and saved them for various DIYs, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick them into the pool noodles. I don't need to cover the whole pool noodles just yet, but I'm just going to start with that. And then I'm going to come in with some greenery picks that I picked up last year at my local Dollar Tree. These ones are some frosted berry ones, and I'm just going to shove them in and around the candlesticks. I'm also going to trim off some smaller pieces. You want to work with larger and smaller pieces just to make sure it's not too clunky. Then I'm going to come in with this gold glitter eucalyptus. I also got this at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to poke in a few pieces. Once I have it the way I like it, I'm going to go ahead and shove in more greenery to fill in all the holes and gaps. And then I'm going to finish it off with just a little bit more of the gold eucalyptus in the spots where I just need a little bit of more glitter and glam. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take these gold taper candles that I got at a dollar store, and I'm going to set them into the candlestick holders. And then this is my finished Christmas centerpiece. So this is just a unique, inexpensive way that you can make a Christmas centerpiece. I got the majority of the supplies from the dollar store, so it didn't cost me a lot, and I used a lot of the greenery from an old Christmas tree. So I really hope this inspires you to get creative this Christmas and repurpose some things that you had laying around to make a stunning centerpiece. Thank you so much for tuning into Home Talk, and we'll see you on another video.